Hey, it's Chris, Liege Games. Let's do this. So, beginning of the week, after this weekend, my big Kingdoms Forlorn video is coming out. I'll tell you right now, it's edited, it's all done, it's all set. It's waiting just to click the live button for you guys. 51 minutes of me talking about what you need to know about Kingdoms Forlorn. Spoilers right there. Putting it out there for you guys. And, you know, this is going to be an interesting week. There's a little bit of everything out there. And so, including, obviously, that being the big one. And we'll just kind of go over it in brief in this video. As always, though, if you like this, you want to see more of this. If you saw last week's video and admit that I was right, that there was a ton of quality stuff that came out this past week based on my predictions, you can thank me in the comment section. Otherwise, we can just get to it like usual. Smash the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the like button. You know, help me go viral. I don't know. Help me go TikTok. I put a TikTok link in the link below. I'm going to try doing a couple of videos on there. TikTok is so weird, though. The algorithm is like, if people don't watch your video in the first 5 minutes you put it out, then we just suppress it and nobody watches it ever. It's pretty much what it is. But apart from that, yeah, I will have that video out. I have another review or two probably coming out in the next week. Because I've got a couple of those in the backlog, and then I just actually need to get stuff played. February has been a very slow month for me, and so yeah, opening ramble over. Let's get to it. What do you need to know about this upcoming weekend and week? Let's do this. Nah, just kidding. Let's stay right here for a second. Let's go to Kingdoms Forlorn. Let's go to the hands-on. We have your Egg Knight right here. What do you need to know about Kingdoms Forlorn? I'll give you spoilers right here. And you know what? The prototype scenario, 4 knights, but you can play this game as a solo operative game. You can play it as anywhere from 1 to 4 people. It definitely has a rift, a spin-off, a flair, a flavoring of Kingdom Death Monster. And in my video, I will compare it to Kingdom Death Monster. So if you've been intrigued by Kingdom Death, if you've been turned on by Kingdom Death, if you've been turned off by Kingdom Death, check out what I say when I compare it, because there are some similarities, but there are some drastic differences, as well as, you know, just the theme, because that's the big off-putting thing when it comes to Kingdom Death, is the theme is grotesque, it's a little bit horrific, and this is more dark fantasy, you know, Shadows of Camelot or Monty Python-esque, at least with what we've got in the box so far. Obviously, this is a one scenario-based situation, and so I can't comment too much more on that. But if you go over to the website, which we will do now. So if you go over to the website here, we have a little bit of what they're saying and what they're talking about in more of a bullet point form, if you prefer that. Tactical combat, inverted combat paradigm, which is, you know, you get stronger as you take more damage, and so do your enemies. Highly modular. You've got the 2 phases, the delve phase and the clash phase, the exploration on the bigger map macro side of things, and then the clash KDM style battle on a grid. Then you've got co-op, how you can help each other not only during the delve phase, but more importantly during the clash phase, to share abilities, to share tokens, to share combat techniques, if you will. Stories that are going to be going along with them, more so in the delve phase, but that are going to affect things potentially in the clash phase. And you get your own, like, gear leveling, loot gaining, that's going to affect things. Now, again, we only have the Egg Knight that I showed you with the 4 knights here, and you can clearly see you've got some big 4 other guys here. 1, 2, Egg Knight, 3, 4, including that massive dragon in the background. So again, what all are we going to see? The Principality of Stone, as they're demonstrating here, is the scenario in which we are based, and they say that there are going to be multiple other kingdoms or principalities. So again, what is the variability going to be like between those? I talk about what the Principality of Stone is going to bring on my video upcoming as well. So if you're interested, again, subscribe and stay tuned for that when it goes live. And I mean, this is going to be a lot of stuff coming out on the 15th. I know a lot of the other big channels are going to have stuff. So I'm clearly going to be overshadowed, but, you know, 51 minutes worth of me talking about it. So I guarantee I probably also have the most in-depth discussion of it. So if that intrigues you at all, tune in, because this is going to be the big splash next week. It's just going to be how big of a splash is it and how interested are people going to be. And, you know, again, just like with Deep Rock Galactic, what is the price point going to be? Because Deep Rock Galactic's big pull right now is it's relatively reasonably priced for a co-op game. That's easier to get to the table. This one's going to be harder to get to the table, but What is it going to do, and how many people is it going to pull in? It's got 5,000 people already plus following it on their Kickstarter pre-launch page, which I'll put in the comments below. So if you're interested, go over there, click save, and check it out when it launches on the 15th. So this is the other big one that's launching on the 15th. I am actually really excited about this because Space Biff commented on Twitter. I know, right? All of you following him on Twitter like me. That this was one of his best games that he's played in a while. And this is the 3rd edition of Block by Block Uprising, sort of rioting, insurrection type game. That's now it says semi-co-op, but I believe that you can just play full co-op, which I'd be interested in. And again, there's 2,200 people backing or following this right now, not backing, but it just looks like my type of game. You know me, I like hard co-ops. This is sort of my interest. Contemporary protest movements, riots, and popular uprisings. You control a faction of revolutionaries struggling against the state, essentially. And so how you battle and how you go through it, they've updated with new mechanics, new components, and just a more streamlined action system. So I am very, very interested in this. I can't wait to see this. Yep, here's Space Biff's review right here already. TikTok preview. Look at that. TikTok preview. Which is always kind of weird. Like, anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But that's all that's on the page. So I am super interested. Again, like, price point is going to be the big decision on this for me, because I always love more games like this in my collection. And as a 3rd edition that's bringing something new to the table that I didn't even know this was a thing before this, again, 2.5 months ago. And so I'm very interested to see what this looks like and how this entails. So, I'm going to be watching the first day it launches. So I am one of those people, as you can see, currently following Block by Block on the 15th. Check it out. Next up, launching on the 15th, we have a game called Behext. This is an arcane deck building game from Smirk and Dagger, the people who bought you Cutthroat Caverns, if that rings a bell. Now, this appears to have a very interesting setting and style. The cards in your hand, a la sort of the Marvel Champions-esque, if that intrigues you, are your currency. They're also your only defense against the other person. Now, this is a 3 to 5 player game with a hex-based sort of deck building situation. Now, this is definitely going to be heavy take that, as they say you're constantly deflecting hexes that are going around the table, and you can kind of see how these are going to be interacting with different costs, different values, and I'm assuming the iconography maybe even has a little bit of telling you what it does in that sense. And so I'm not really sure what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it, but I mean, it looks very interesting because clearly you've got different things going on even around the side of the hex itself with your asymmetric mage. And so this is a game that I think is going to fly under people's radars, but it's got only 90 followers right now because, frankly speaking, I just don't think it's gotten any publicity. So it's launching on the 15th. We'll see what it entails. We'll see what it looks like. Again, like, this is a crowded genre, this marketed, magical, take that sort of battling game. And what is this going to bring to the table with these hexes that makes it different? So if you're interested, check it out. Next up, we have a game called Frozen Frontier. Now, Cosmodrome Games, but I cannot find a Kickstarter preview page. So what do you need to know about it? This is going to be an area majority Euro style game with sort of 3 phases that you're going to be dealing with. You're constructing, you're collaborating, and you are raising the cash. Again, so here is the website itself. As it says, Battle of Wits, not war. And so you're going to be building using multi-purpose cards in order to build certain buildings in your area. And this is a little bit of area majority as well. Now, again, they don't have the date on here, but if you go over to the actual Board Game Geek page, they have it in the forums listed still as the 15th. And then you can see a little bit of what the breakdown of the rounds is going to be like just based on the description here. Now, when you reach the end of one of these decks, then you do another certain sort of actions. You do that 3 rounds, and then you're done. Again, very interesting theme. Again, what is it going to do to separate itself out from the crowd when it launches on the 15th? Well, check it out if you're interested. This next one I'm actually really interested in. I am currently one of 19 people following this page. This is Sum 8. This game is an abstract 1 to 2 player game where you are trying to put these pieces down, trying to create circles, combos, as you're scoring these figure 8s, and on your turn you are just placing one that you have or replacing one that's already down, and then whoever scores the most points when all of them are played or one cannot be moved or manipulated wins. Unfortunately, that's all the information. I don't have any more specifics, but as a lover of abstracts and looking at this and going, this looks relatively straightforward, but with the GIF sort of, there's a lot of nuance to it. Again, I kind of want to see what it looks like, what the rule book entails, what sort of nuances do they show us, and again, is it going to be up my ilk or not? But again, as an abstract person, if you have any interest in this, check it out when it launches. Also launching on the 15th, alongside of some 8, is Retrograde. Another thing I never thought I'd be saying that I'd be super interested in at this point, because this is a real-time, hear me out, you know I love real-time, roll and write. Another thing I did not say I would be thinking of seriously backing at this point. But I love the idea of a real-time game, and I'm getting into the roll and writes. I'm going to have a video out coming soon of my take on 3 roll and writes that are out right now in terms of what my thoughts are and things to know. And this is going to be taking a completely different look at it from a real-time standpoint. Because it's, you know, it's old-timey classic arcade games. Invaders, right? So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be rolling dice as fast as you can, using that to claim combos. Then, of your best one, you claim the card, put dice on those little robot invaders to knock them out, rinse and repeat. Simultaneous play. Sounds kind of cool. I want to see it in action, but I could see myself getting in on this, especially if there's an incentive to back it on crowdfunding in the first place. Again, not a huge following, 250 right now on the Kickstarter pre-launch page, but again, I think it's going to surprise people because, again, I think it's flying under the radar because nobody knows about it. But it's also launching on the 15th, so definitely give it a shout out and check out. Tell them Liege Games sent ya. Also launching on the 15th, we have Trinity of Reign. So, what do you need to know about this 2 to 4 player miniature-based game? It's always weird to me when a Board Game Geek description says you can play it as a casual or even if you're a professional player. For all you professional board game players out there, this is sort of a strategy game where there's a lot of area control where you're choosing one of 4 factions or clans and trying to construct, conquer, and control. If you go over to the description here, they talk about, okay, we got 3 different variants: win by military conquest, win by building the Hall of Ancestors, or win by building the god and using a druid to get a religion victory. Which is not what I usually think of when I think of sort of Civ games or Conquer games. The other weird, interesting aspect here is that they say if you get through 9 rounds, then it's just a victory point struggle. So whoever has the most victory points. And in each of those rounds, there's 4 distinct phases that they go through right here. It's got a pre-launch page. If you're interested, check it out. There's enough diagrams and pictures here on Board Game Geek so you can get a little bit of a sense of what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be building things. And here's the miniature portion of it. So you can get a little bit better view of at least what to expect. It's launching on the 15th, so if you have interest, check it out. Now I have launching on the 18th is a game called Mythic Mayhem, Forge of Heroes. Now, based on the description, it almost seems like a TCG of simultaneous play, maybe, because it lists the player count from 2 to 20, which is kind of odd. And if you go to the description here, as we skim through some of the art and some of the pictures, you know, the asymmetric characters and abilities, sort of Magic the Gathering-esque, they talk about it one sole purpose: to play. They're trying to get all the TCG games and make it affordable for anyone getting in there. Challenges and changes the definition of a TCG. Disconnect between collectors and players. So it gives you a little bit of the rundown here of what you can do and the actions that you can take. So you can basically get the whole gist of it right here. So again, is it good? Is it different? Is it unique? That's the question. This art is definitely reminiscent of things that you've seen out in the past. But again, is there a market for this? This market is oversaturated at best to begin with. And I don't know. I have it listed launching on the 18th, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. Another one that I had marked down as potentially on the 16th was, I thought, a game here from Filtered Reality Entertainment, a follow-up to Lawklivya Vengeance, because it's just getting shipped to people currently from the original Kickstarter. And so I'm not sure if they're doing something new. There's no content on Board Game Geek saying so, and there's no update from the project, but I'll throw it out there just in case. I had it marked, I think, from a Facebook ad, so we'll see if anything comes of it. I'm probably making it up as I usually tend to do. But again, just be aware for this 1 to 4 player sort of co-op tower defense with a Euro worker placement style mechanism. So FYI, just in case. So now we go to the prop bets, the over-unders from last week, the results. The over-under was 250,000 for Deep Rock. They'll almost be 1 million more than that by the time this video airs. So That was definitely a win for the over. The over-under for collab at the relaunch, the ending, I said 205. I said over in the comment section. It ended up at 217. There you go as well. Number 3, I said what was going to have more. Actually, you know what? We'll skip to this one because Rolling Heights is right here. I said 75,000 on Rolling Heights, over or under. It's at 88 at the time of me filming, so that's clearly going to be an over. And then I said Iron Forest versus Floating Floors. Iron Forest having more, and I'll, granted, it's about a tenfold difference, but they're both funded, and so Floating Floors, especially the $25 price point, still doing well, but clearly Iron Forest is the winner there. So I actually went 4 for 4 this week. So what are we going to talk about this coming week? What is going to be sort of out there? So you know what? First up, let's talk about Kingdoms Forlorn. Let's go back to that. Let's say Kingdoms Forlorn. I don't even need to pull up the page here. $1 million. Kingdoms Forlorn, $1 million. Over or under? We'll make that number 1. And you know what? Let's go for number 2. We'll say 2.5 games breaking 6 digits next week. 2.5 new games, non-TCG, breaking 6 digits in terms of funding. So, over or under there. I'm going to go over for Kingdoms Forlorn, and I'm going to go under for the 2.5, because I don't think more than 2 games are going to break it. So, what else can we do this week? Mind Management ends right before this video finishes. So, let's say Mind Management over or under $500,000. $500,000 US. Over or under. I'm going to go over on that. So that's 3. We'll go with number 4. Let's just see. Where do you think Deep Rock's going to be at a week from now? Should it be, we'll say, how cool much does it cool off? We'll say 1,750,000 over or under. And I'm going to go over on that one as well. And, number 5, last one up. I was going to say board game tables final result, but that's got 100 minutes left, so that wouldn't be very fair. 700,000 under. No, let's see. We've got a couple here that are similar. We've got Reckland Run, Rolling Heights, Iron Forest, and Astro Knights. Astro Knights and Rolling Heights are very similar in price funding. And Reckland Run and Iron Forest are very similar in funding. Let's go this. A week from now, Rolling Heights or Astro Knights, which has more funding? I am actually going to go with Astro Knights. I think Astro Knights is going to creep up and overcatch Rolling Heights. There we go. Those are your 5. There you go. That's it. TV time. TV time. All of Us Are Dead, the Japanese zombie Netflix show. Watch that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. The ending sort of left it a little ambiguous. There was only one death in there that I didn't like or wasn't expecting it to be when it was. But it's solid. It's probably one of the better ones that's come out in the last 6 months as well. So if you're interested at all in a different take on the zombie horror, while it's a teen side of things, it's done really well because the majority of it takes place in the school where the outbreak happens and the kids are just trying to make it out of the school, and it is done it's done really realistically. So I really enjoyed it. And then I also just watched Reacher on Amazon Prime, which Alan Richman, I am a big fan of him now. I was not as big a fan of him when he was on Titans, the Teen Titans, real time, or live action, I guess is the better term to describe it, a live action show. But I think he is by far the standout of the show. It starts off really strong, the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then it kind of turns into your average sort of US shoot 'em out, good guys overcome with a few twists. But overall, I mean, he does a great job. Especially in the first 2 3 episodes. I really enjoyed it from that. Apart from that, I don't really have anything else going on for TV time. That was the majority of the week of the stuff I watched. So that was, some longer stuff in general. But yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, like I said, a couple reviews. Patreon below, weekly behind the scenes update tomorrow as well. So if you're interested in that, check me out over there. Yeah, I think that's about it. Relatively ho-hum otherwise. Like I said, I just got to get some stuff played. And we'll kind of see where things go. I just need to get in the mood. I haven't been in the mood all week to film much stuff. So, this next week might be a little sparser, 2 or 3 videos, on the usual. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. It comes and goes in waves and spurts. So whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Short, sweet this week. Give you more time to do other stuff. What should I do as a TikTok video? I'm trying to like come up with something creative. I don't have anything creative. So I guess that's the ending. Give me something creative that you'd like to see me do with a TikTok video. That's all I got. And that's kind of a lame ending, but you know, whatever. Stay classy. Have a great weekend. See you around. No end ramble. That was the end ramble right there. Nothing. I guarantee it. There's nothing else coming. Don't stay tuned. There's nothing else. Go away. Click subscribe if you're already here. Go join my Patreon if you're still watching at this point.